Jasmine and Brandon here with some comic book news and reviews.
This week we got some reviews like Morning Glories, Justice League, and Ultimate X-Men. So let's get to it.
Hey guys, Cubby here with my comic reviews this week. The first one is actually a trade paperback that I was able to kind of breeze through, and I've already read an issue of it, so I kind of knew what was going on. But Skullkickers, Volume 2, awesome. I was able to actually go back and read a story arc of an issue that I already read, made everything make sense. Well, for the most part, it was the second volume. I didn't read the first volume. But it gives you a good backup of what happens in the first volume. So if you want to just jump into an awesome, fun, fast-paced story, totally give Skullkickers Volume 2 a chance. I know Skyrim just came out, so if you guys are into Skyrim, you're into all that fantasy stuff, this is an awesome break from all that serious, dark, foreboding dragon hunting that you're going to be doing. This is very fun, fast-paced, like I said. It doesn't take itself seriously, and it's actually more of like a satire on this whole like fantasy, elves, knights, dwarves, all that crazy stuff. Anything you can think of fantasy-wise, it's in this book, and they make fun of it, and it's just a good time if you don't want to be brought down by your fantasy role-playing things or whatever. I totally give this 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. My next book is Ultimate X-Men #3, and I gotta say, I was not excited about this series at all. 3 issues in, and I am hooked. I want to see where this goes. I love what the Ultimates has done in general, the whole Ultimate line, to whatever property they're working with. Ultimate Spider-Man has been awesome. Ultimate Hawkeye, of course, has been awesome. And the Ultimates has been great. But the standout has definitely been Ultimate X-Men. Finally, the plot thickens. We find out where Wolverine's son has been. The Morlocks are being looked for, and it looks like things are really getting crazy. Stryker is a Sentinel? What? I know. Crazy stuff. I don't want to ruin too much of it, though. I have to give this book 4 Nerd Skulls, though. All right, guys, Cubby here again. My last book this week, Justice League #3. Yes. Oh my God, this book is still just as good as the first couple, and it doesn't look like it's going to be slowing up. And that's one of the things that I really liked about this book. Still fast-paced action. The plot is getting bigger and crazier, and you're starting to find out just what's going on. But as you're finding out what's going on and who's causing all this big ruckus around the world, more crap starts going down, and it just... Cyborg, the scene where he kind of like finally turns into Cyborg, is one of the coolest comic book compositions I've ever seen in my life. Just from him getting injured all the way to him getting healed and becoming Cyborg and finding out who the bad guy is. And like we kind of saw the bad guy come in from the first issue, but seeing that he's here, seeing him and like actually being a threat again, and like having not seen him since Final Crisis, holy crap, I'm scared of Darkseid. Overall though, way more than Darkseid, way more than Cyborg, way more than Green Lantern and Superman and Batman, and all talking about being awesome and being cool and fighting all these awesome demons. Wonder Woman makes her like fighting debut in this book. All I gotta say, she's absolutely beautiful. My #1 comic book crush of all time. I'm getting flustered speaking about her right now in this book. She is amazing, probably the best part of the book. I'm gonna give Wonder Woman in Justice League 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls, and I'm gonna give the book, because she's in it, 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey there, nerds. Jasmine here with my comic book reviews for the week. First up is Funnies by Sergio Aragones. This book is about Funnies. It's great. It's completely independent, and it's wonderfully written and well drawn. It's very cute. Some are just single pages with black and white art. Some are a few pages with full-on stories in them, and it's great because you can pick it up and put it down. It's really awesome. Everything is hilarious. There are things I'm looking at, I'm laughing, and I'm just giggling, and I'm showing other people, and they get it immediately because it's short. You can share it. It's awesome, and it's, like I said, a completely independent comic. So these are things we should be supporting, and it's really cool. So throw it on your pull box. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. It's worth every dime. Next up, I have War Goddess #3. I'm not going to lie, I picked this book up to see if I would enjoy this issue, and I really did. I don't know what happened where this was like a sort of scary horror comic that didn't make any sense for me, and then made a ton of sense for me, and is really good. Dare I say it was a page turner. Not necessarily because it was really serious and I was really into what was going on, but I kept giggling at stuff. I find anything scary just kind of funny, but there was gore and violence. There's a naked arachnid-looking bloody chick who's killing people and then turns into a lesbian for like 5 minutes and then gets beat up, and just things happen. There are boobies everywhere. It's really funny. It's just, this book. Mike Wolfer and Pal Rodricks do a great job of just telling this weird story. And I'm gonna keep reading it. You even have marital issues going on. It's a good story that just encompasses so many different pieces of humanity, oddly enough, within a story about being possessed and fighting aliens from a different dimension and all kinds of things. So this is a book that I'm actually gonna get behind, and I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Next up is Catwoman #3. This is a great comic. It was one of my favorites from the New 52, and it has not disappointed. It has one of my favorite artists in it, and it's very well written. I love how you see a development of a character in Catwoman where she's sort of more protective and fiercely guarded because of things that are happening to her in her outside world. Her apartment's gotten blown up, her best friend's been killed, and she's sort of sleeping with Batman. So all these crazy things are going on. He keeps finding her when she's committing crimes. It's great. On top of that, you really see their weird relationship mean something, which is odd because you always sort of thought they were just chasing each other, but they actually kind of care. It's cool, but she still gets the better of him. And I love that because that's what Catwoman's really about. I'm gonna give this book a 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I love it, boobies and all. Read it.
Hello nerds, it's Steven here from my round of comic book reviews. Starting out, Epoch #3. So I've read the last 2 and I've been enjoying it so far. And once again, I really enjoyed it. It's getting into him being trained for the big tournament while also looking into the crimes. And it's got a real cool element of the metaphysical and all these creatures, while still keeping it in the reality of like, we've got to solve a crime, so we've got to use science. But how does science mix with the mystical? Which I love that kind of idea, where it's mixing science with mystical, and it does it well. It doesn't overload you with facts where it's like, whoa, what just happened? It just makes it very simple, while still makes the point. One of my main complaints, though, is that it starts out with like an unnecessary rehash of what's happening. Like, of course, the first page always is like, here's what's happened. But then it goes on for like 2 more pages, like telling the story again quickly, and it's just like, that's not necessary, really. And then also, the training isn't long enough. Like, it was just 1 page, and I felt it deserved a couple more. I can understand why they didn't, because they wanted to get all the other points in, but it was still just one of those things where you're like, if he's going to be fighting and he needs this training, you want to see how he trains, how he changes from being a standard human to having these archangel properties. And so I would have liked that better, but I still really enjoyed it, and I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Next up is Pilot Season's Seraph. It's the first book, and I gotta say right off the back, it had a good idea. Like, the idea of the character having committed suicide, being pulled back down, getting these powers, the tattoo on his back, glowing with fire, like all these kind of ideas, this mystical idea. It's a really good idea, playing into religion and everything. It just missed the mark. They did this kind of overtoned third-person commentary as if it's like, this is you. We want to make it feel like it's you, so it's as if it's you're describing it, and all this kind of stuff. And it just felt awkward. It felt weird. Even with the cool action scenes, the cool story, cool what he's doing, the way they approached it made it so awkward and so like you couldn't get into it. And I understand they were trying to make it so you could get into it more easily, but it failed. And so I appreciate what they tried, but it just didn't work, and so I'm only going to give it 2.5 out of 5 skulls. Last up is Venom issue #9. I really enjoyed this one. It's taking up right after Spider Island is done, and it's him like stopping a crime while the city's in turmoil after all that's happened. But he, like, during the crime, he lets Venom take too much control, and he has conflict with that, and especially after what happened during Spider Island. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't read it, but the conflict with that, and the conflict with his father dying, not telling his girlfriend that he's been Venom this whole time, is starting to take a real toll on him. And you can see that he's going to have to come to some resolve about it in the next issue. But it ends with like a really cool shot. I'm not going to say what it is, just so you can read it yourself. And you definitely should read it yourself, because it really kind of hints at how he's going to change who he is while still being Venom. Really great story, really great resolution at the end while still leaving you want more. So I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, Haley here with my first comic review of the week, and it is going to be Carbon Gray #1, which I thought was a really interesting story. I'm really excited to actually read more. It's about this girl who's expected to be this sort of prophetic character. We don't really know that much about it, but it's between her and her sister's just kind of cast out. They don't care about her, and it's kind of this dystopian future. That's what I'm getting from it so far. It's really mysterious. We don't know that much, but the whole thing is about trying to get her, and there's case files on the side, which I thought were really interesting because it gives you background into the story without having a bunch of expositional dialogue, which I really, really liked. So I definitely recommend it. I give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. My second book of the week is going to be New Mutants number 34. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I've never read New Mutants, and I don't even really know that much about X-Men. Like, I know the basic ideas, and I know a little bit more than the movies, but I don't know everything. But I really like this book. I liked that it was these characters trying to adapt into the real world. So I can see that there's going to be struggle showing. I felt that it was a bit short. But I like that there's conflict in the real world, and now they have conflict in their mutant world because Blink's coming back and they don't really know much about her. And they're trying to figure out what her involvement is. So I'm actually interested in reading it further. So I will give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, Bobby here with my comic reviews for the week, and the first one is going to be Haunt number 18. I have to say that I did not like this issue. It seemed like a complete filler issue. Nothing important happened in it. I mean, other than an old villain that now seems to be working for, the CIA now. I'm not interested anymore. The main point is that Robert Kirkman is no longer writing the series after this issue. So, in my opinion, it's the perfect jumping off point. The story has really kind of been dragging for a few issues now, and now that Robert Kirkman is leaving, I don't feel so tethered to the storyline. And with this issue, as much as I say I hate it, it did leave it off in a way that I don't mind not reading it anymore. Unfortunately, I'm going to only give this 1 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. My second comic review for the week is going to be a little book called Mudman number 1. It is written by Paul Grist, and the art is by Bill Crabtree. I like the art a lot. It's really fun, and it reminds me a lot of Invincible in the beginning. The reason why is Bill Crabtree worked a lot on in old Robert Kirkman books, so it makes sense. This book is fun. It's about a kid who goes into an old, dilapidated house and ends up getting powers that gives him the ability to, basically turn into mud. Interesting. It's more of a kiddie book. I did like it. I see a lot of promise in it, and I want to see where it goes. I'm going to give this book 3.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
What's going on, nerds? Brandon here with my comic reviews this week. First up, I got Morning Glories number 14. I've been a huge fan of this book. Something I actually didn't start reading until it came out in trade, and I'm kind of mad at myself I waited for so long. I still have no idea what's going on in this book. It's all over the place, but I love the idea of the mystery and trying to figure out what's going on. It's just, I'm hooked. I can't wait to read more. Giving this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Next up, I got Severed, number 4, written by Scott Snyder, who is one of my favorite writers. I keep saying that. I know I sound repetitive. Sorry. It's also an awesome book. We pick up with Sam, Jack, 2 kids, and it looks like Sam sees through what's going on with Mr. Fisher, and Jack not so much. Something really big happens in this, and I'm hoping to see the next issue to make sure everything's okay, because I'm actually worried. I'm worrying about the characters, so that's how good this book is. I'm giving this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. All right, guys, that is going to do it. So